It's cold, Basil. It's cold. Antarctica, go burn. It's snowstorm. Antarctica. Ice. Scientists are penguins. Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
Guns
Are you even woke?
Woke up, man.
Are you even woke, Gons? Here at Antarctica, we are. And so this is coming. We've been tracking. This just continues to get better and better. We've been kind of laying off the Antarctica thing for a couple episodes, but it's back with a vengeance. Antarctica, we've been tracking how it's being set up by the sort of financial and social engineering elites as sort of a utopia for wokeism. It's our last bastion where Africa is sort of the last frontier of economics. Antarctica is sort of the last frontier of the human, I don't know, just experience. You've got the weddings, the gay weddings, the trans mountain climbers. You've got the women radio stations.
Jimmy Buffett concerts.
Jimmy Buffett concerts.
Yeah,
you got everything, baby. It's awesome. Of course, climate change centers around Antarctica. No matter how many times real Antarctic scientists protest, they just can't stop. And now, Gons, I don't know if you know this or not. This is at theconversation.com. People stationed in Antarctica menstruate too. And it's a struggle. Here's how we can support them. We must support menstruating people in Antarctica. You guessed it. It is people. They see, but they mess up right off the bat here.
I know the first word of the article. Yeah, women. Oh,
women have been doing field work in Antarctica for more than 40 years. Yet they comprise just 25% of the expeditioners in the Australian Antarctic program. Why is that a yet? Why is yet there? You know, women can be doing field work in Antarctica for 40 years. And they comprise 25% of expeditioners in Australian Antarctic program.
It needs to be 50-50, Basil. This is simple math.
It is yet because
only 25%.
We're supposed to feel that there's some sort of injustice. Send more menstruators down to Antarctica. We need more representation. Man, there's so many jokes I can't make right now. Despite decades of progress, historical issues with sexism and gender bias continue in extreme field environments set up for men. I don't even know exactly what that means, but I can't help but smile at it. Despite decades of progress, historical issues with sexism and gender bias continue in extreme field environments set up for men. Managing menstruation, in particular, is an overlooked challenge for women working in Antarctica and other extreme male-dominated environments.
Wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a comma here, extreme, comma, male-dominated environments. But I think what they're trying to imply here is that all male-dominated environments are extreme.
Well, I love the sort of insinuation. I don't even know what the problem is yet. They haven't told it.
There's not enough.
I get that it's hard. I get that it's hard down there, no matter who you are.
It doesn't matter where you are. Isn't this hard? Menstruation? Isn't that?
Look, yes, I'll say that. I just want to be clear here because we're not going to scoff at this for nothing. I'm saying I understand. From what I understand, Antarctica is a hard place to be, and from what I understand, managing menstruation is a difficult part of being a human. Okay, I'll even say it. Difficult part of being a woman. I understand both of those things. I don't know quite yet what the problem is.
Listen, Antarctica, the way it's set up now is just for men. It's not set up for women. For people who menstruate.
Thank you. That's the insinuation, is that the patriarchy has been sort of constructing Antarctica in some sort of
ran the development of the White Desert.
Sir Scott in his, quest to find the Evercube, got down there in like 1880 or whatever. Whenever he got there, he's like, it sure is cold down here. It'd be a shame if somebody menstruated around here. We need to construct a situation where it is difficult to menstruate. Okay, continue. If we want to build a diverse and inclusive polar workforce, and there it is.
Woke.
If we want to build a diverse and inclusive polar workforce, we need to openly and willingly address the challenges that women, trans, and non-binary menstruators face in the field. Ha! So it is people who menstruate here. I'm telling you, man, Antarctica, this is their thing. This is what they're doing. Listen to this. Listen to this subheadline. Who gets to work in Antarctica? Ooh. Who gets to work here? Who gets the privilege to work in the most hostile environment on the planet? Over the decades, toileting has been a primary way for men to control who has access to extreme environments. Listen to that. Over the decades. First of all, listen to that time frame.
Decades.
Look,
this is an ongoing issue.
I'm all for accepting that, like, I get it. A lot of men don't really think about the particular needs of a woman when doing things. I don't think most of the time it's not malicious. It's not to disclude anybody. They just don't think about it. As a man, sometimes I don't think about these things. But if that were to be happening in Antarctica, it would be over the decades, toileting. It's like it's a new strategy. Over the centuries of male dominance, we've tried everything. How do we keep these women down, man? They just keep getting back up. They're getting rights. They can vote now. I just don't know how else to control them. Well, George, I've got a great idea. We'll control them with toileting. Over the decades, toileting has been a primary way for men to control who has access to extreme environments. For instance, here's your example. Until the late 1970s, women were being told they couldn't work in Antarctica because there were no facilities for them on station. They have a hyperlink. This seems like a source I need to check.
What is this? Tanned Fawn Line? What is this? This does not seem like a legit...
T&F online. This is an article written in 2017. Women need not apply. Gendered institutional change in Antarctica and outer space.
Why is space always brought up in the conversation with Antarctica?
Extreme environments. We got to keep these women out of extreme environments. Sorry, we don't have any women's restrooms. Women have been similarly excluded from space travel because their hormonal bodies were deemed to be too unpredictable by NASA's male leaders. And they love this one, which is funny, but they love this story. Sally Ride's 1983 mission on the Space Shuttle Challenger heralded a new era of progress for women's access to Antarctic fieldwork. If women could go to space, they could certainly go to Antarctica. It was around this time the British, United States, and Australian national Antarctic programs began to allow women to do fieldwork in Antarctica. Ride's mission was also uncovered NASA's inexperience with menstruation. In redesigning the space flight kit for her, NASA engineers famously asked Ride if 100 tampons would be enough for a 1-week mission. Ha 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 ha, stupid men. In my latest research, I spoke to dozens of women expeditioners about how they negotiated the hurdles associated with menstruating in Antarctica. They revealed that managing menstruation remains taboo and has been made even more difficult by a culture of silence. Ooh, Antarctica sounds like a dark place, not even just literally for most of the year.
Dark and cold.
Yes. Okay. So let's hear about how the patriarchy is keeping menstruation difficult. As one expeditioner told me, I haven't had great conversations with other women because there haven't been any that I've worked with. I've been very much by myself with these things. Now, with these things, does she mean with menstruating or with these things, these men who are keeping me down? I don't know. Life as a woman expeditioner. So why is menstruating in Antarctica difficult? Oh, thank you. Well, for one, you can only toilet in certain places due to environmental protection laws. You must collect your bodily waste in sealed containers, which are carried back to a station for incineration. Okay.
That sounds inconvenient for men too.
This seems inconvenient just in general. You can't go create some content on the ice and walk away. You've got to put it in the baggie.
That sounds more like an environmental protection law issue than a male issue. But
so is climate change laws sexist? Maybe that's what we're doing. And Antarctica is not the only place you have to do this, by the way. There's plenty of wilderness areas where you have to do this in the U.S.
I'm pretty sure anywhere in the world, not anywhere in the world, but most public places you can't just
public places. They're talking about, I'm talking about like protected
extreme
wilderness
environments.
Yeah. Because expeditioners may have to keep used menstrual products with them for several weeks in the field, they need to consider not only what products they will use, but how they will dispose of them. Okay. Well, you're going to put it in a little baggie, just like where your other content goes and where everybody else's content goes.
Put it in your backpack.
Reusable menstrual cups are often preferred because they produce no waste and can be left in the body longer, 4 to 8 hours, than disposable products. However, cups must be emptied and cleaned at least 3 times within 24 hours to minimize the risk of toxic shock syndrome. Okay. Cups are amazing. This is, as one expeditioner explained, cups are amazing, but they are also a huge learning curve. I started learning to use them for an expedition because I'm like, I can't carry these used tampons around in my bag anymore. The hard thing is cleaning them discreetly. Okay, so the hard part is keeping it secret.
Yeah, or cleaning
menstruators
them secretly.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a comment? Do I need to explain menstrual cups to you, Gonzo?
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. I could not hear what you said.
Oh, so did you. I was asking, did you have a comment? Do you need me to? Do you need me to explain menstrual cups to you?
No. I have an idea. Sure.
Menstruators must also be prepared to manage their menstruation in small shared spaces. The women I interviewed described the complexity of doing this in male-dominated teams. The first time I went to Antarctica, I was out on a boat. It was me and a group of men. It's my period, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do here? All Antarctic expeditioners wear many thick layers to protect themselves from the extreme conditions. However, women need to be able to change menstrual products without exposing their skin to the cold for prolonged periods. The participants in my study came up with creative ways to cope. I sewed myself underpants that I could Velcro on the side so that I didn't have to take all the layers off my leggings and my feet and change my undies. Well, that sounds like a good solution.
It sounds like a good, just in general, like a
it seems like all underpants should have some Velcro on them, honestly. To avoid these challenges during long duration expeditions, menstruators often rely on menstrual suppression technologies. Menstrual suppression, to get a suppressor on that sucker. These include the combined oral contraceptive pill or long-acting reversible contraception, such as an intrauterine device or injection. These methods prevent a period and pregnancy, and this is critical in extreme environments where pregnancy is extremely high risk. Okay, I mean that seems like an
excuse for some eugenics.
Oh, stop
right here,
it.
some depopulation agenda.
The feminists, they would want the access to the contraceptive pill or some other long-acting reversible contraception. This seems like a total feminist win. These methods prevent, and you won't get pregnant. That's good. LARC, L-A-R-C is
called LARC,
that's the long, really? What does this mean here? They just had it. The long-acting reversible contraception. Yeah. LARC is convenient because it requires no extra supplies and little maintenance following insertion. That said, breakthrough bleeding or spotting can be a side effect. Having my period in Antarctica was a nightmare. Look, I believe you. It seems like a nightmare. Just in general, but especially
just in general. You don't have to be in Antarctica for it to be a nightmare, but I suppose,
Somebody told me that they had an Depo-Provera injection before they went. And I thought, well, that wouldn't be a bad idea to not have a period for that particular time. But I had my period the whole time I was in the field. Yeah, that's the side effect of some of those things. How to support menstruators. Okay, so that is what's wrong with menstruation into Antarctica. Shall we review? Because I did not quite catch which one was sort of a malicious attack from the patriarchy.
You're just always around men.
You're around men. Yes, the presence of men is a threat. We've already established that. The very presence of a man is a threat. I guess, let's see here. The reusable cups, yeah, they didn't want to change it because there's men around.
The learning curve of the cup.
The existence. Look, lots of people use the cup, even not in Antarctica. That's not a very good excuse. So I'm going to say the existence of men around cleaning the cup. That's a problem. Okay. They must be, the small spaces. Okay. The spaces are small. There's no Velcro in the underwear, because they got to wear thick layers. The patriarchy made it cold in Antarctica. And that's why it's our fault, Gons, for making it cold in Antarctica. All right. And being there. As a man, I want to apologize to all the women out there for making it cold in Antarctica, and also other men being there, making it very inconvenient. And then that's it, I guess.
Okay, so how do we support them? Let's move on. How do we support these menstruators?
Okay, this is how we fix the problem, folks. This is how we're going to make Antarctica inclusive for whoever wants to menstruate down there. Apart from their other already demanding work, my research shows women must also undertake additional psychological and physical labor to manage menstruation in extreme environments. Okay. Whether in Antarctica or on military deployment, women will often, here's a bullet point list, change their menstrual products without privacy or adequate sanitation. Carry bloody menstrual products around with them in the field for a long time. Okay. Improvise menstrual products when none are available.
Creative.
Yeah, I was going to say that's an industrious young woman. I'll give her credit for that. Keep menstrual products in their bodies for longer than recommended because they aren't provided with adequate toilet stops.
Maybe that's what it is. The distribution.
Maybe that's what it is. Not enough toilet stops, not enough bathroom breaks. And look, that would be an easy one to trivialize. I'm not going to trivialize that. I think all people in Antarctica should get as many potty breaks as they want or need.
You got to report all of it, though, because it's an environmentally protected area. So you can't just leave a trail of you with your name.
No, you got to carry it with you.
The snow.
Just like everybody else. Alter their hormonal balance with medication to make menstruation less inconvenient. Okay. The bottom line is this. Menstruation in these settings has largely been treated as an individual problem and not a site for organizational attention. This needs to change. Some simple changes can be applied in any field environment where menstruation is difficult for women. Organizations should make it a priority to listen up, organizations. Australian government, American government, Argentinian government, the hidden Nazis, UFOs, Nephilim penguins. All of you, listen up. These are some simple changes that can be applied in any field environment where menstruation is difficult for women. Ooh, another whoopsie doodles. You're supposed to say people. Organizations should make it a priority to 1. Destigmatize menstruation and acknowledge the unique needs of diverse menstruators, including trans people and non-binary folk. I didn't hear anything about the unique needs of those other ones, but I think more potty breaks really solves kind of most of the problems. 2, update field manuals to include relevant information about toileting and menstruation. Okay, put it in the books. I can get on board with that. Everybody should. I think that is part of the problem. I think a lot of these men, they're getting in trouble for being patriarchal, domineering misogynists, and they just literally have no idea what's going on because evidently these women are hiding it from them. We need to
maybe it's a communication issue a little bit.
Communication would be helpful. Putting it in the instruction manual would be a helpful step.
I'll say it because this is like just an experience as a man here. I was much younger, but I didn't know the full scope of this stuff here.
Of course.
But I remember as a competitive swimmer, as a young competitive swimmer, I remember judging girls when they would just get out and run to the bathroom. Like, why? What? You guys are slacking off? I had no idea. So
yeah,
communication would have been
potty
important.
Breaks.
Yeah.
Yes, especially in high school, it's sort of excessive potty breaks were never explained to us.
Yeah.
Until it was too late.
Yeah, until it was too late.
3, provide menstrual health education to all expeditioners, especially cisgender men leading field teams. That's great. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, education. Love it. 4, make toilet stops standard operating practice.
How is it not already? If you're out in some...
I'm going to say the same thing. Toilet stops should be a standard operating practice. 5, provide menstruators with free menstrual products and make period underwear available as part of field gear. I was going to bring up the period underwear thing. Okay, free menstrual products, it's interesting how that always becomes a part of it. And that's, you know what? That's fine. I'm already paying for Joe Manchin to give his oil companies free money. I'm already paying for Kristen Sinema to give money to her people lobbying her. Yeah, that's fine. We can do some free menstrual products.
the big menstrual product,
big menstrual,
like
big
pharma. You got big menstrual products trying to control women.
You know what? In solidarity with the women folk, I will say, I don't think we've ever gone into it, but there are ludicrous conspiracies connected to Big Tampon. It's a whole thing, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't get talked about enough. Maybe that'll be my social justice mission. We'll go into the menstrual
deep
conspiracy.
Rabbit trails of Big Tampon.
Exactly. And period underwear, make period underwear available or as part of field gear. I think that's a good idea. You see, these period underwear thingies, right? There's just kind of it's a whole super absorbent thingy.
Diaper?
Piece of underwear. You heard about these? You seen these?
Sure. Yeah.
It's a whole thing. There you go. That's your
pad.
So all of these solutions, not exactly sure why this is sort of a men are evil type of thing. You should take more toilet breaks and make recommendations for different gear. That's kind of the main thing, and some education. Now, I will say I've spent my own amount of time in extreme conditions, Gonzo. You know this.
Yes.
Long time listeners will know this. I've spent too long in some extreme conditions. One of them was weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in the wilderness. And there were menstruating people there. And this was kind of just like when you're out in extreme conditions with a group of people for 5 weeks, the barriers, lots of the social barriers, they break down sort of naturally.
Sure.
You're in extreme conditions. Everybody is sort of, you're outside of society. You're in survival mode. You're working
you help each other
hard
out.
to just live.
Naked and afraid. Come on.
And honestly, menstruation becomes the least interesting problem that you have.
Sure.
And so when on many of my long extreme expeditionary things, sadly not to Antarctica yet, I did not. Now look, perhaps they were keeping it a secret, but there was conversations about menstruation, and there was special pit stops made, and there were these types of things. So I think the problem is with these Antarctican things is certainly a part of this is we cannot stop for long, or else we will all freeze to death and die. Other than that, everything seems the same. So the article ends here. I recently supported the Australian Antarctic program to revise its field manual and help reconsider how field environments can be sensitized them to the needs of menstruators. I don't know if I like the word sensitized, but okay. This is an important first step, but success will only come when inclusive operational measures happen by default. The big message? Do not worry, women. You are welcome in the Great White Desert. No longer will the patriarchy hold you down.
So a new discovery. Antarctica.
Penguins.
Penguins. That goes for penguins too.